So my name is Meagan. I grew up in New York State. I now live in Delaware to kind of get my fresh start in life. I grew up in a house with a single parent. From the time I was 5 years old, my parents, had divorced. And I grew up knowing that you needed to be home. Like, you go to work every day. You don't miss it. So therefore, as a kid, you can't make your family miss it. You don't go to the nurse's office. And knowing how hard it was for my mom as a single mother, we went out of our way to make sure that she was okay. Like, we went out of our way. We were very conscious. My brother saved every penny and would offer it if something happened. She needed to pay the mortgage. He'd push her his piggy bank. And that's just the way that we grew up, was that type of family to, watch out for each other and not inconvenience one another. So throughout my childhood, you knew this because you didn't take time off. When we got older, I learned the same thing from my own experiences with work. I got married to someone with mental disabilities, many of them, and he was very bipolar, so he would have issues, and he needed me there. But to get a phone call 30 times in a day, you can't stop and answer the phone. You can't just up and leave. You can't go home. You can't take the day off. You can't take care of him. And it's hard. It's hard to know that you don't have any type of cushion whatsoever. My mom now is very sick. She has really bad diabetes. She has some unknown problem that we can't identify, and we can't identify it because you can't make the doctor's appointments because you can't go to them, because she'd have to lose work. You miss work, not only are you missing your pay, you're probably losing your job just because you're sick. And it just makes the same circle. My brother passed away. He had a sore throat, and he didn't tell anybody until the very last minute when he decided it was just too bad to ignore. And he finally showed my parents, and he was going to go to the doctor the very next day. They said that they would take him, and he never woke up. He went to bed that night. The infection dripped, and it made him throw up. So in the end, he asphyxiated in his sleep. Things can't change that. You can't take that back. You can't get him back. And I'm not necessarily saying that if things were different, it wouldn't have happened. But I am saying that it would make a difference. And I am saying if people don't grow up with the stipulation their entire life that you can't tell anybody what you need, then maybe he would have said what he needed. Maybe my mom wouldn't have to go to work every day, even though she's in so much pain, she can barely move. Maybe I could have taken extra days off and gotten the mental support that he needed. When he dropped into a seizure, I didn't have to leave him 5 minutes later and not know if he was going to remember the seizure at all. Things like that are scary. I got a phone call with him covered in blood. He had a seizure, and he couldn't figure out why there was warm liquid dripping down his face. But I wasn't there. I wasn't there because I couldn't lose my job.